Hello, my beautiful souls. It's SP Psychic Medium here, and welcome to the Oracle of Light channel. Thank you all for joining me wherever you're watching from around the world. Nice to see you all today. So, straight into the program. Before I begin, though, don't forget every reading is for entertainment purposes only, as you're all aware that watch this show. Nice of you to join me. I'm going to go straight onto the story, which, if you've been watching the news recently, you will see that Trump and Elon have fallen out. Like the war has begun, you could call it, if you like. The drama has begun. I think this was inevitable at some point, but they've really it's just seems to have hit the fan with Elon and Trump recently. I'm going to put a link to an article I've got here from The Guardian in the description, and this article is entitled "Trump says he is very disappointed in Elon Musk after attacks on the tax bill." So Elon Musk has turned against the President Trump, proposed tax and spending legislation, calling it the debt slavery bill. Donald Trump said on Thursday he was very disappointed with Elon Musk after the Tesla CEO and former head of the President's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, continued his attacks on the tax and spending plan that they're trying to pass through the Senate. Trump accused Musk of turning against the bill because of the provisions revoking the incentives for consumers to purchase electric vehicles. Well, if you would have these mixed interests when you're serving, what do you kind of expect? It's kind of ironic. I wondered when this was coming myself, because I think everyone that knows Trump knows that he's kind of against green initiatives. He's all for his own profit. He's all for his own gain. And I always thought it was very strange that he partnered up with Elon because it was very clear. And Trump's been open about not having a green agenda and not having he's basically had an agenda of himself, basically, which I always thought it was very strange how Elon was going along for so long. But it seems that things have finally hit the fan here, and finally, it seems that with a bit of falling out and a bit of shifting around, and obviously he's come to the end of his term now, Elon, no longer serving within the White House, if you like. So now he seems to be more outspoken, and things are going a bit south, you could call it, really. President Trump said, "I can understand that, but he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left," Trump said in the Oval Office, apparently. And then the German Chancellor, Trump said in the Oval Office, as he also welcomed the German Chancellor, "I am very disappointed in Elon. I have helped Elon a lot." There was definitely a lot of back patting going on, definitely, for one another. I almost wondered if Elon had anything on Trump at one point too. Who knows? I think it'll be interesting to see what comes out over the time. But also, Trump also said at one point during the interview, "Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore," which is what brought me to today's reading, really. I thought, wouldn't this make a really interesting reading? Let's see what the cards have to say about their relationship. And so the questions I'm going to be asking today is, how is Trump and Elon's relationship right now? Let's see what the cards say at this moment. Now, obviously, I've just read you the thing about the article that Trump, out of his own mouth, said, "Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore." But he's really put it in the balance. He's definitely giving a prod, and I think seeing how he maybe reacts. And he's certainly thinks the waters are getting a bit choppy, you could say, it sounds like to me. But let's see what the cards say, because the cards tell you what you need to know, obviously for entertainment purposes only, but it's really interesting. The cards tell you what you need to know, not necessarily what you want to know. And it's just the beauty of the cards, So just to say a little bit from Elon's side, there is a bit of comments in this article about what Elon says as well. And Musk's response to this was immediately rejecting the president's statement. And he wrote on X his usual Trump or Felon 45 has his truth social or lie social, if you want to call it that. And it's like Musk has X. It's really funny. They each have their own little like avenues of spouting all of their stuff. And so Elon surprisingly wrote on X, false. This bill was never shown to me even once, and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. Which you question why they're passing bills at that time anyway. What's in this bill that they want to sort of pass it at that time? And interestingly, he goes on to say, without me, Trump would have never lost the election. Dems would control the House of Republicans and would be 51-49 to the Senate, he added, which is quite an interesting statement in itself. Does that need a bit of investigation? Without me, Trump would have never lost the election. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. That in itself is quite an interesting statement. That I question, would that need a bit more investigation in itself? That's quite interesting. And then he goes on to say, such ingratitude. He clearly doesn't know a narcissist when he sees one. But then maybe that's maybe two narcissists in a room. Maybe they can't see each other. You know, that's my thoughts on that. You know, it's like I'm just trying to think about a joke about narcissists. How many narcissists does it take to change a light bulb? I'm sure there's a funny punchline to that, but I can't think of one right now. So anyway, let's get on to the cards. Let's see what the cards. So the first question I'm going to ask is, how is Trump and Elon's relationship right now? And the second question I'm going to ask is, what will Trump and Elon's relationship be like in the future? Of course, things can always change, and I'm looking at right now. Okay, don't forget. So I'm going to use the Cosmic Tarot cards for this first question to begin with. How is Trump and Elon's relationship right now? I use also reversed cards because they just open it up a bit more. But how is Trump and Elon's relationship right now? Let's shuffle these cards. Let's see what the cards have to say, everybody. It'd be really interesting to see what they shine a light and get some insight on the situation. So let's see. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the channel, don't forget to subscribe below too as well. I do appreciate it. So let's see what they say. Let's swap them around a bit. Okay, so let's get the cards. I'm going to get a couple of cards out, I think. Okay, so I'll just finish with a bit of a shuffle. What do the cards say about the situation? I'm going to get that one there. So, the High Priestess and Judgment. So I'm going to get some more cards out. We'll see how we go. But at the moment, so how is Trump and Elon's relationship right now? We have the High Priestess card that's come out. So the High Priestess is about the moon and the High Priestess. This is a very spiritual card, actually. But I feel the High Priestess is connecting to the moon and the oceans. And it, like, the moon is the magnetism of the oceans. So it feels like we're coming into a moment of change. Now, I don't do zodiacs or anything like that, but it feels like we are coming into this moment of change. It feels like, and it feels like there's some connection to this time of year with that, or the zodiacs. There's some connection with that, but I feel the change on the way. I definitely feel waves. I feel like I'm really drawn to the sea in this card and the waves. So it feels like really turbulence, like up and down. Things are going up and down at the moment, and things are going to be getting almost like stormier. I really feel I'm really connecting to this water in this card and the storminess of it. It does feel like things are going to get stormier. Things are going to get more up and down to extremes. So rather than just chugging along, it's going to be more up here and down there, up here and down there, almost like unstable as well, because when you have a boat on the sea when it's turbulent, it can really feel like it's tipping over, and there's definitely a sense of like imbalance going on here. There's a sense of imbalance happening right now. This is this is what's happening right now too. And also, it's really interesting, we've got Judgment out as well. How is Elon's relationship right now? It's in a moment of judgment. there is a moment of judgment coming on about their relationship. Now, this could be judgment from either side here. I think, first of all, there's judgment about, there's certainly the feel of power is important here. So who's got the power and who can hold on to the power, and almost who can make the other one sink almost. Interesting, we're going on to the sea again. But almost like I get a feeling here that as the relationship starts to turn bitter, there's definitely that sense of they don't want that other party to keep on floating their boat. They want to sink their boat, you know, so they're no longer a risk. I feel it feels like there's a lot at stake in this relationship as well. So it's more than simply just falling out. There's a matter of, if they fall out, it's like they've got things on each other, you know. It feels like they've got things on each other. And when this falling out happens, these things that they've got on each other are going to come into it. And what they're going to desperately try to do is like sink each other's boats. It's going to be like, you know, that game Battleships, you know, it's going to be like that, you know. What is the best way to almost deal with an enemy? Well, some say bring them closer, but I think the likes of Elon and Trump, it's definitely trample them down, eradicate them, you know. There's definitely that sense. It's a different approach, and I feel that that's more the approach they want to do. You see, I feel that Elon, has actually wants to like eradicate all his competition. He doesn't want to go up against them. He wants to eradicate them almost. And that also applies to power and the power that he holds, and also the power that he's gone through, you know. I feel I want to get a third card out as well. And the third card out is the Three of Wands upside down. So this to me is this card is usually a card of balance, okay, but the fact that it's upside down is imbalance. So there's a huge imbalance coming on right now, a huge time of change, of up and down, but there's a huge imbalance we're going to be seeing right now that is happening right now. I think we just caught the very beginning of this, but I think it's been festering for a while. I don't think this is a new thing. I think it's been bubbling for a while. And I think we've only just seen the beginning of this. I think this is going to almost like it's going to get deeper is the best way to put it. You know, I think in their vain attempts to look bigger than the other one, they're going to actually end up making themselves look crazy. And also, I just think it's going to go really pear-shaped in that sense, you know. It's going to be quite interesting. Is what it's going to be. It's like almost like a war within, almost really. The fight, such infighting here going on, such imbalance going on, and judgment from each side here. You know, judgment from each side. You know, and I don't feel neither party is right here either. Interestingly, they're both fighting on the wrong side almost, if that makes sense, you know. Yeah, really, really interesting. I'm going to get an Oracle of the Light card out as well for the current situation. As I say, so a lot of imbalance right now going on, a lot of judgment going on, a lot of ups and downs going on. Judgment from either side, thinking they're right. So they don't think they definitely do not think they are wrong. There's like no attempt at all to consider that they might be wrong here in any way from either side. It's really quite bizarre almost in that sense, you know. Normally there's some kind of empathy to some degree from the other side, but both of them have no empathy for each other in that sense. So it's a strange falling out in that sense, you know. And it's also, I feel that at the heart of it is also a grab for power and a grab for almost like keep them where they need to be and not in the hands of the law and not in the hands of, you know, all that stuff, you know. Very interesting, very, very interesting. So I'm going to ask an Oracle of the Light card now. I'll do that, reverse it around a bit. And okay, so we have Metamorphosis. So a card of change. There's change coming. There is going to be change coming. That's what there is. That's really clear here. And also, interestingly, we are in June, and this is also Gemini, the card Gemini, in June. So there is a connection to that card coming up this month as well. So change this month. There is going to be change this month, you know. Now, I also think, interestingly, because I wanted to bring this into the video, but it feels like now is the time to bring that in too. There is also the military parade of Trump coming up, obviously, for his birthday, which has also hit the headlines recently, because apparently the military parade, I've seen in an article recently, is going to also cause millions of damage to where it's going to be held, I believe. And they're afraid of £1 million worth of damage happening, as well as the cost of putting the parade on. So yeah, there's this military parade. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this parade is that this is going to be further a chance for Trump, Felon 45, to almost like assert his power that he thinks he's got, you know. And I'm saying that he thinks he's got because you could argue whether it's correct power, because actually a lot of the things that his regime are doing is against the law. It's against the Constitution, you know. It's not lawful, you know. So it's this make-believe power. It's this all make-believe, you know. And so
also the two faces, they look like war.
Yeah, that's right. The two faces could also represent Musk and Elon at war with each other. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And also the jetty could even represent the military parade with soldiers stood at each side of it being the posts, you know. So yeah, this quite interesting. I do feel Trump is going to try and assert his authority through that military parade and assert his influence over people trying to like him more than Musk. It's literally going to be like that, you know, like me more than him. He's a bad guy, you know. There's going to be a bit of that going on. I feel like 12.5 going, I'm the good guy, you know. I'm the good guy, you know. I feel there's going to be a lot of that we'll see as well, you know. So yeah, interested about right now. So right, let me just summarize those cards then before I look at the second question. So we have the High Priestess, but more importantly on this card, the Ocean, up and down, up and down. It's getting stormy. Also, there's going to be judgment from each side now going on, from Musk and from Elon, from Trump and from Elon going on, and also imbalance. This three of wands is definitely to do with imbalance going on, and also metamorphosis, time of change. We are coming into it. June is a time of change. So yeah, very, very interesting. So the second question now: what will Trump and Elon's relationship be like in the future? Let's see what the cards say about that. So obviously, always for entertainment purposes only, as you know. And do subscribe if you're enjoying it. I do really appreciate it so much. Okay, so let's get a card then. Okay, so we'll just show that one more time. What will it be like in the future? The Four of Wands. Interesting, that card almost came out early, interestingly. It's come out, it's meant to be out. And the Tower. All right, okay. And Justice upside down. Wow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So what will it be like in the future? Going around in circles. It's going to be going around in circles, and it's also going to be very harsh because you see the desert there. They're going to be going around in circles with each other. There's going to be like this. It feels like it's definitely going to be like constant. They're going to be at each other forever. Like they've almost like got their arch enemy now, if you like, and that's going to be remaining. The Tower is such a telling card, and So what is it? What would Trump and Elon's relationship be like in the future? Like a collapsing castle, it's going to crumble. It's going to crumble in the future. The relationship is going to crumble. It could even relate to Trump even losing his believed status as president. So this could mean the fact that crown's flying off there could represent Elon being part of bringing Trump down, actually, which is quite interesting, because that crown does feel it's significant, the fact it's flying off. And we all know that Trump does believe himself to be like the king, but he isn't, of course. But there's definitely interesting that crown is falling off there, so that's really interesting. And the Justice card upside down. So to me, this feels like there's almost like justice. Well, the Justice came out earlier as well, almost, and it feels like there's this justice in terms of the fact it's upside down suggests injustice is going to go wrong, but it could also suggest that justice is going to happen via someone that also is like needs justice to happen to them, which is why the connection to Elon bringing Trump down could be the thing. Because although Elon has many issues with things in courts and stuff like that, he could also be responsible for helping to bring Trump down too. So it's kind of an interesting thing here. Where this is going to go is really quite interesting. But it does feel like justice is going to play a huge part of this. But when you have two people that justice needs to be served on, I think this is why this card is upside down, because the fact that both of these people need justice serving on them, but also they're also going to be responsible for bringing themselves down too, is the best way to put this. It's hard to explain it in that sense, but I hope you get what I mean. It's a sense of they're almost like going to be their own worst enemies, actually, in that sense, ironically, so there's a big sense of irony with all of this, but when you try to have a regime that is so dysfunctional, it's inevitably going to crumble. It's like the great film The War of the Worlds, that when the aliens came along to defeat the world, ironically, the minute they started to try and rule the world, they were destined to fail. It's because the bacteria on Earth didn't mix with the bacteria of them. It's like that same thing. It's like the very nature of that fascist regime is dysfunctional. It's a mistrust. No one can trust anyone. So the very nature of it is dysfunction, and essentially it will crumble. It's a dysfunctional, it doesn't work. Society, everyone's supposed to have a voice in society. Everyone's supposed to be appreciated in society. Everyone's strengths are useful to society. And when you don't use that, it's inevitably going to crumble because it doesn't work, And so this is kind of what this justice card is all about. Justice will be served, ironically, initially maybe through the hands of those that justice also needs to be served to and will be served to, ironically. Yeah, it's an interesting card and it's an interesting reading. And you hope you are with see what I'm saying. I want to get another card about what the Oracle of the Light will say about this. So what will the Oracle of the Light say on this? So we have Angelus coming out as well. Amazing. So Angelus, in terms of, I feel this is about almost like the key of justice will happen. So what's going to happen? I think it's significant about the fact it's been split apart. So I definitely feel they are going to be split apart. I don't feel they're going to be Elon and Trump are going to be connected forever. I think the relationship is going to split apart. And almost like the door to justice is going to be open. And I think that's represented by the key, the door. And almost like essentially for justice to happen, they do need to get weaker. And this is part of them crumbling, the tower. You see, the regime is crumbling. this is the start of the regime crumbling, you know. And obviously, when they were together like that, the regime appeared really strong. But as they start to crumble, especially such a powerful relationship at the beginning, we had Elon and Trump at the fore with Doge and all that stuff, making cuts and stuff like that, pushing all of that forward. Well, when that's breaking apart, that's a huge sign that things are going south. Things are falling apart and crumbling, you know. So yeah, I'm going to leave that with love and light. So I do hope you enjoyed that reading, everybody. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and do subscribe below. I really, really do appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy all my videos. Don't forget, I have a playlist. You can watch the playlist and watch loads of the videos back to back. And I do hope you enjoy the channel. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'm trying to make 500 subscribers. So I would really appreciate subscribing below. Help me get to 500 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care, and with lots of love and light, I will see you all really, really soon. From the out of the light, goodbye, everybody. Take care.